The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate it all. The new president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, wonderful speech at his inauguration when he was sworn in as the new president of Ghana. According to him, we are one people, a very big family. John Dramani Mahama has joined Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, the AES, during his inauguration speech.
Now more than ever before, we need to strengthen our ties with our neighbors to ensure that we're working together to keep our sub-region safe. We stand in solidarity and work in alliance with all our neighbors in the sub-region. Recognizing the history of our borders, we also acknowledge that on the other side of our country's borders are our family members. They may be Ivorians, they may be Togolese, they may be Burkinabes, they may be Nigerians or Malians, but they are also Akans, they are Kassinas, they are Guans, they are Ewes, they are Nzemes, they are Hauses, they are Moshis and Gourmets, because we are all part of one another, one big family. With the increase of the climate crisis, and as the waters grow warmer, melting the Arctic ice and permafrost, there's a greater likelihood for viruses that have been frozen and thought to be extinct for decades, perhaps even centuries, to begin to spread and create another global pandemic. The changing climate conditions, increased population density in urban areas, and mass international travel are enabling existing viruses to spread and mutate at a faster and faster rate than they did before. This is a serious challenge. Let us not forget the toll that the past epidemics of viruses like Ebola, COVID, and Mpox have taken on the families and communities and medical infrastructure in several of our neighboring countries and in the sub-region. Let us also not forget how swiftly and completely the COVID pandemic brought the entire world to a screeching halt. My government will be working diligently to strengthen our public health systems while monitoring the global health situation so that when, and not if, but when the next pandemic or epidemic occurs, the loss of lives in Ghana will be minimal. The larger world exists around us and to some extent within us. While we cannot and should never use it as an excuse to stray from the direct and immediate needs of Ghana for the well-being of our citizens, we must also bear in mind that the affairs of the world, if we care to shape, lessen, avoid, or even at the other end of things, maximize the effect they have on us. My brothers and sisters, barely a month ago, we held historic elections that have caused dramatic shifts in our political landscape. I feel greatly honored that you, my compatriots, considered me worthy of receiving such an unprecedented and overwhelming mandate to steer the affairs of our beloved nation at this critical time in our history. The magnitude of this victory in the presidential elections and the gains that were made by my party, the National Democratic Congress, in the parliamentary elections naturally and justifiably resulted in great joy and celebration across our country, Ghana. But celebrations, no matter how justified and how well earned, must be supplanted by discernment, sobriety, and deeper insights into why we received this kind of mandate in the first place. By voting as you did on December 7th, the Ghanaian people conveyed a powerful message, yet often overlooked by us politicians. This message was powerfully emphasized by a giant of American political history, President Ronald Reagan, when he declared at his inauguration some 40 years ago that governments have no power except that granted by the people. While Ghanaians take great pride in our thriving democracy, They are deeply dissatisfied with the quality of governance over the years and have openly voiced that dissatisfaction through the decisive actions that they undertake at the elections. Our people also understand that democracy is not just a token adorned with periodic elections followed by pomp and pageantry with the establishment of a new government. They expect that if democracy is celebrated as a superior means of governance, then its outcomes must be more tangible and benefit them in their individual lives. Any honest introspection and reflection on the pulse of our nation would reveal that many within our population do not feel that they have benefited from or partaking in this democratic dividend. Where people buffeted by severe economic crisis and hardships, and in the last few years we have lurched from crisis to crisis. But there is hope on the horizon. Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity, an opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana. You have my sincerest thanks for honoring me. My firm, immutable assurance is that your vote will matter in the work that I'll do to make a difference in the destiny of this dear nation of ours. Your courage to bring change will not go in vain. Our nation was born with much promise. That promise would seem hazy and in doubt now because of all that has happened in the past. But I urge you, my fellow countrymen, not to be sucked into a state of perpetual pessimism. For some time, our country has urgently needed leadership with an unwavering desire to get things done. I, with all humility, assent that I intend to be that leader with your cooperation and your help. As your next leader, I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. I will have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility for any challenges and be willing to act firmly and timelessly to resolve the challenges that we face as a nation. Since the elections, I have read and heard the word hope used many times in relation to my presidency and what it should offer the citizens of Ghana. I intend to speak plainly and clearly to you today, and every time I address you subsequently, I intend to always tell you the truth. The circumstances we find ourselves in are indeed dire, but even so, I'll be decisive and swift in my actions. We'll focus our initial efforts on 4 critical areas. The first is economic restoration and stabilization of the macroeconomic environment. The second is the improvement of the business and investment environment to ensure that Ghana is once again open for business. The third is governance and constitutional reforms. And the final, but not the least, is accountability and the fight against corruption. My brothers and sisters, actions have always spoken louder than words. With that in mind, I have entered into a covenant with you, the good people of Ghana, in which I have enumerated 26 actions that I'll take within my first 120 days. There is reason for hope, and there is every reason for hope. But we must also have faith, because faith empowers us to trust the things that will happen. With faith, you believe what you know, and that is why we need faith to be able to achieve our reset. We need a reset with the faith we have in our country and our leadership. We need a reset with the faith we have in our institutions. We need a reset with our faith in our dear nation, Ghana. And by that, I mean in all of us, because all of us are Ghana. You are Ghana, and I am Ghana. All of you seated here today, Ghanaian citizens, you are Ghana. The people who you are with or near you as you watch this on television, in your homes, or listen on radio, or follow on social media are what we call Ghana. I ask that we enter into the covenant with the Ghana we all love and the good people of our country who make up this dear nation. And I ask that you envision a Ghana that you want to live in, a Ghana that you want to leave behind to your children and your grandchildren.
According to him, we are one big people, one big family, regardless of where we come from. And that yes, that the people have elected leaders upon leaders, but we have spoken loud and clear that now leadership is not all about you, the person that has been elected as a leader. It is about the people. And the people are looking for leaders that will have their interests at heart, just like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing. And that we have to stop this concern that we are doing to one another. The leaders, yes, those of you who go to the Western world, you understand, to be taking things from them, to make sure that whatever they want to move forward in Africa, that you have to stop it. Because if you are fighting Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, you should know that you are fighting your brothers, because we are one people. We speak the same language. But regardless of what they have said, we have to understand that we are one people under one umbrella. Until then, we can never fight to get Africa a better place. Regardless of wherever you come from, we are one people. And that is what we have to work with. This is a new dawn and a new era. And the President, John Dramani Mahama, the people have voted for you massively, because you know you yourself, you have said under the circumstance in which they have voted for you. And we are hoping that as you promised that you wouldn't be a talker, but a doer. You will do just as you have promised. And you know what we the people love most is anti-West. We want to be sovereign nations that can take control and total control over our natural resources, over our decisions. We do not want these people to be sitting wherever they are and be controlling our leaders in the guise of democracy. So as you have come with a beautiful speech, we want to see you in action, just like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Ghana.